The man I had secretly loved for 10 years finally confessed his feelings to me. And I turned him down without hesitation. In my previous life, I had said yes instantly, thrilled beyond reason. I had no idea then that my so-called dream man, Professor Adrian Thorne, only confessed to irritate his adopted sister Lily after they argued. I was nothing but a convenient target. 3 days after I agreed to date him, Lily appeared with teary eyes and a trembling voice, acting pitiful and innocent. Adrian melted on the spot. To soothe her, he abandoned me in a dark alley during a storm. I waited there for 3 hours, soaked and shaking. A drunken stranger cornered me. He clawed at my clothes while I screamed until my voice cracked. No one came. When I finally stumbled back to Adrian, freezing and terrified, and asked why he had left me behind, he only gave me a flat look. Let's break up. Later, when Lily learned I was still in the city, she drove straight into me with her car and left me permanently injured. I dragged her into court. Adrian ambushed me in the courthouse hallway. Drop the case, Harper. If you don't, the next body you see will be your mother. I didn't think he would actually go that far. I didn't believe he would protect a criminal to the point of murder. I was wrong. My mother was found at our door, lying in a pool of blood, her body already cold. That day, I realized Adrian wasn't a man. He was a monster wearing a charming mask. This time, I'm done playing their puppet. So when Adrian confessed again, the crowd around us froze in shock. Even he stared at me as if he didn't understand what had just happened. I ignored him and walked past, heading for the guy behind him. Hey, handsome, I said calmly. Interested in getting a girlfriend? Less than an hour later, the gossip had swept across the entire campus. It was no secret that I, Harper Vance, had spent years chasing after Adrian Thorne. But now everyone said I had switched targets. The campus delinquent, Jax Cole. Jax had been taking a drink when I spoke to him. He paused mid-motion, then a slow, crooked smile appeared as he screwed the lid back on his bottle. You're being serious? He stepped closer and boxed me in against the wall in front of everyone. If you want to be with me, your heart better be empty of every other guy. His gaze flicked past me toward Adrian. Everyone knew I had been Adrian's doormat for years. I met Jax's stare and nodded. I'm serious. I only like you now. Starting this moment, a flicker of surprise crossed his eyes, then he laughed under his breath.
Fine.
I'll take your word for it. He pulled a wooden beaded bracelet off his wrist and slipped it onto mine. Family keepsake. You wear this, you're mine. No take-backs. His friends nearly choked. Jax. What? Since when do you cave this fast? Dude, that's Harper Vance. Aren't you the one who always rolls your eyes when she walks by? How do you just? Jax glared at them. Enough. Go get me a ring and some flowers. His tone was gentler than anything I had heard from him before. I understood why he used to give me that irritated look. He hated watching me chase Adrian like a lovesick fool. He'd liked me for a long time, and this time I was choosing him. As we were about to leave, someone shouted my name. Harper. Adrian had finally snapped back to reality, glowering. Harper Vance, have you lost your mind? You rejected me? Why did you send all those letters? Why did you bring me breakfast every morning? He looked genuinely baffled. He had always assumed I would fall at his feet. I couldn't help laughing. Professor Thorne, which of those breakfasts did you not toss in the trash? No one waits forever. And besides, my tone hardened. There are boundaries between students and instructors. We should respect them. I turned to leave, but Adrian grabbed my arm.
You said you loved me, he snapped.
Funny, when I used to run after him, he barely remembered I existed. Now that I didn't care, he was desperate. I see your worth now, he said quickly. Say yes and you're my girlfriend. Right now. I raised my brows. Do you hear yourself? You sound like some emperor picking out a concubine. Why do I have to agree just because you confessed? And honestly, I added in a lower tone, you're too old for me. His face went pale. His grip slackened. I slipped free and walked off without looking back. Once I was out of sight, my heart was pounding. I lied. It wasn't just about age. After being reborn, even being near him made my skin crawl. His face brought back the memory I could never erase. My mother lying in blood. Her eyes open. Her dying voice begging me to run from him. This time I'm listening. I thought rejecting Adrian publicly would shut him down. He had only confessed to spark jealousy in Lily anyway. In my previous life, I never realized I was a pawn in their twisted rivalry. This time, I planned to stay far away. But Adrian clung to me like something sticky you couldn't scrape off. Harper, he's staring again, my classmate whispered during lecture. That video of his confession is going viral. Maybe he actually likes you now. I followed her line of sight. Adrian met my eyes instantly. I turned away at once. The worst part was that I had signed up for every class he taught, back when I was obsessed with him. I couldn't drop them without tanking my grades. I sighed. Listen to the lecture. And stop making things up. Adrian Thorne and I have nothing to do with each other. I tuned everything out and focused on my dinner plans with Jax. Hot Pot was waiting. When class ended, rain hammered against the ground. Of course, I didn't bring an umbrella. Most students rushed off, leaving me under the awning. Then a dark umbrella appeared above me. Use it, Adrian said quietly. In the past, hearing him say my name would have kept me awake all night. Now, I stepped away. No thanks. My boyfriend is picking me up. I reached for my phone to text Jax. The lock screen lit up. Adrian's expression dropped. When did you change your wallpaper? This. I held it up casually. The day I started dating my boyfriend. It's inappropriate to keep another man on my phone. Adrian went rigid. For 5 years, my wallpaper had been a candid photo of him from behind. He used to pretend he didn't care, though he definitely noticed. The moment I returned to this life, I deleted it. I didn't know what to replace it with, so I used a random selfie Jax had sent me. I kind of liked it. Harper. Adrian began. Harper. Jax's voice cut through the rain. His car stopped in front of us. He stepped out with his own umbrella and wrapped an arm around my waist. Professor Thorne, appreciate the gesture, but I'll handle picking up my girlfriend. I got in the car and we drove off. I glanced back out of habit. Adrian stood there like a statue, rainwater running down his face. If I didn't know the monster beneath the surface, I might have mistaken that look for heartbreak. Quit staring, he's gone, Jax said with a hint of teasing. I nudged his arm. Don't say it like that. I do not have anything to do with him. Jax laughed. All right. We reached the Hot Pot restaurant. He held my hand the entire time, his gaze strangely soft. Harper, I swear this feels unreal. I wake up, and you're actually mine. Stop being dramatic. Let's eat. After dinner, we went to a movie. I fell asleep halfway through. When I woke up, my head was in Jax's lap. He had stayed in that same position the entire time. Your leg isn't dead? He puffed up his chest. Of course not. He was lying. I saw him limping slightly in the reflection of a glass door as we walked out. A quiet smile tugged at my lips. Maybe choosing someone else wasn't a mistake after all. The only thing on my mind that day was getting home to my mom. In my previous life, she was the one person I should have protected more than anyone, yet she was the one who paid the price for my stupidity. I thought I could fight for justice after Lily ruined my legs, but Adrian used my mother as leverage. That threat still echoed in my head whenever I closed my eyes. Drop the case, or you will find your mother's body. After class, I stood at the campus gate waiting for a taxi. A pink Porsche shot toward me at full speed, the sound rising in my ears before I even turned my head. My knees buckled. I knew that car. I knew that moment too well.
Lily.
I threw myself sideways toward the pavement. The Porsche slammed into a stone pillar with a loud crunch, but she did not even glance at the damage. She stepped out in a frilly dress, looking like a porcelain doll with a rotten core. You shameless witch. Trying to seduce my brother again, are you? Pathetic. She had just attempted to flatten me, and she was scolding me? Her entitlement was astonishing. Adrian had spoiled her so thoroughly that she truly believed consequences did not apply to her. I stared at her, confused. Do we know each other? And did you just try to run me down? This is a civilized country. You try this again, I will call the police. Lily folded her arms, chin lifted.
Please.
My brother can make anything disappear. Even if I killed you, you would still lose. Is that so? I smiled and dialed emergency services. Hello, I am reporting an attempted vehicular assault at the university entrance. She thought I was the same naive girl from before. She had no idea I had already burned in hell once, and I was not afraid to drag anyone else there with me. Last time, when Adrian protected her after she took my mother's life, I had stabbed both of them before surrendering myself to the police. I believed in consequences. Adrian and the officers arrived shortly. Lily flung herself into his side, crying on command. Adrian, she jumped at my car. She wrecked my Porsche. She has always bullied me. I almost snorted. When the officer asked for my statement, I simply pointed at the street camera. Check the video. Adrian moved toward the footage. Lily grabbed him desperately. Brother, you trust her more than me?
He sighed.
At home, you can act spoiled. Outside, you follow the rules. If you are innocent, I will help you. If you did this, I am not covering for you.
Her face strained.
The recording showed her turning the wheel straight at me. They took her to the station. As they led her into the patrol car, she screamed, Harper Vance, you will pay. I brushed off my knees. I had already paid once. I was not paying again. That evening, I cooked dinner for my mom. Watching her eat, warm and alive, felt like a second chance I refused to waste. Later, I walked Jax out. On my way back upstairs, someone grabbed my wrist and pinned me against the wall. Harper. Adrian. He reeked of alcohol. Please do not leave me. I could only stare at him. Adrian had never liked me. He doted on Lily, not me. Why was he suddenly acting like a tragic lover from some movie? I pushed him away hard. Adrian, go home. You are drunk. Thankfully, Jax had not left the building yet. I called him back, and together we shoved Adrian into a taxi before he could say anything else. On the walk back up, Jax looked unusually serious. Harper, he is into you. I scoffed.
Right.
And I am the Queen of England. Men spot these things easily. He has that look. He was wrong. No man destroys the woman he loves. No man threatens her family. If that is love, I want nothing to do with it. I tried avoiding Adrian from then on, but his sister refused to leave me in peace. Lily shifted schools just to follow me. She splashed wine on me in the cafeteria, mixed up my assignments, and gathered groups of girls to corner me in hallways. Every stunt she tried fizzled out before it began. Jax always intervened quietly, using his family's influence like a shield I never asked for but appreciated more than I could say. One word from the Cole family, and Lily's little army backed down. When tormenting me directly failed, Lily turned on Adrian instead. Brother, you do not need this teaching job. Let us go home. Teach me the business. Adrian did not even look up. My assistant will train you. Her attempt to lure him away failed. So she escalated. She drugged a drink meant for him, planning to shove me into the same room and catch us on a live stream. Her goal was simple, ruin my reputation and force Adrian to despise me. Her assistant hesitated. If he finds out you drugged him just to get rid of Harper, he will lose it. She snapped back. My brother is confused, that is all. Once he sees a scandal online, he will come to his senses. They set the plan in motion. Lily adjusted the hidden camera, smug. Harper Vance, tonight you become the internet's laughingstock. She ordered her men to drag me in at the right time. Her assistant stood outside the hotel room, clutching the streaming device, counting down. 3, 2, 1. He kicked the door open and rushed in with the camera raised, ready to expose everything. Then he froze. His jaw dropped to the floor. Miss Thorne, why are you in the bed? Lily's cheeks were burning red, her eyes unfocused and glassy. Whatever she had taken was hitting her hard. She twisted restlessly in the arms of a man she clearly didn't recognize, tugging at her own clothing in a dazed frenzy. Help please, she whispered, voice thick with confusion. The assistant froze at the doorway. He stared at the man holding her.
Kyle.
The campus legend. A guy infamous for collecting flings the way others collected trophies. But what was he doing tangled up with Lily Thorne? This can't be happening, the assistant muttered. Miss Thorne, snap out of it, we are streaming, he said, his hands trembling as he scrambled toward the control panel. It was too late. Lily had enabled a time lock on the broadcast. It had to run for 30 minutes before it could be shut down. The entire messy scene was already out there for the world to see. Comments exploded across the screen. Wait, isn't she the girl who promised she'd expose a cheater? Why is she live streaming herself rolling around with some guy instead? This is straight up chaotic. She set her own trap. The disaster was only growing. Acting out of sheer desperation, the assistant grabbed a bucket of ice water from the bathroom and dumped it right onto the pair on the bed. Both jolted awake with startled gasps. Lily sat up, clutching the sheets to her chest. Where am I? What's happening? A moment later, she looked down and shrieked when she realized the state she was in. Her mind scrambled for answers. She remembered preparing the stream. She remembered spotting me near the restroom. She turned her head, and then a sharp impact. Everything went dark after that. Now she was here, half undressed, next to a stranger. How did this happen? Turn it off. Turn the camera off. She tried to yank the blanket around herself, but a polished shoe pressed down on the fabric, holding it in place. The assistant went rigid. Lily looked up slowly. Adrian stood at the foot of the bed, completely alert when he should have been unconscious from the drink she gave him. His expression was colder than winter ice. "Lily," he said quietly, "look at the mess you made." "Brother," Lily's voice shook. She looked like she was about to collapse. "Why are you here?" Then she saw me standing behind him, and her panic twisted into rage. She jabbed a finger my way. "Adrian," she attacked me. "Harper knocked me out and dumped me in this room with some stranger." The performance was flawless. Under normal circumstances, most men would have rushed to comfort her. Adrian didn't even blink. "Stop pretending." His tone was calm, but underneath it was steel. "You think I didn't notice the drink you handed me yesterday?" Lily's face drained of color. You didn't drink it?" "Correct." He reached into his jacket and pulled out a small recorder. With a click, the room filled with the voices of Lily and her assistant plotting. "Lily, that's your brother. If he finds out you drugged him, no risk, no reward. If I wanted to hate her, this is the only way. He always forgives you. He always will." The recording ended. Lily sank to the floor, shaking. "You were spying on me," she whispered. "Spying?" Adrian repeated, his expression tightening. He took her chin between his fingers, forcing her to meet his eyes. "Lily, have I not given you everything? Whatever you wanted, I provided. And this is what you became." His disappointment cut sharper than anger. I watched from the doorway. In the past, he had wrecked my life to protect her. This sudden righteousness felt like a well-rehearsed performance. But his grasp tightened, and Lily clawed at his wrist, her breath turning ragged. "Brother, let go. You're hurting me. You're mine to look after, and you still fixate on that woman," she rasped, glaring at me with wild hatred. "None of this would have happened if not for Harper. She should be the one exposed." Her assistant quickly jumped in, desperate to save himself. "Mr. Thorne, Miss Lily didn't mean any harm. She just wanted to teach that schemer a lesson. Ask Harper how she slipped out of the setup." I stood calmly, a faint smirk tugging at my lips. "Speechless, are we?" the assistant stammered. "I've got nothing to hide," I said casually. Earlier, one of Lily's classmates had warned me after she tried to bribe them to drug me. "Lily Thorne is dangerous. Watch yourself." I wasn't afraid. I rubbed my hands together. Since she's put in so much effort, why not turn it to my advantage? I set a countertrap. My classmate fed Lily the story that everything was ready. She didn't bother checking herself. Adrian had already uncovered her plan and avoided the drink entirely. To make it convincing, I hired Kyle, the notorious campus flirt, to keep her company. He played his role perfectly. When I explained everything, Lily and her assistant went pale. I added a smile. "It seems you forgot one detail. Not everyone can be bought. Loyalty still exists." "Lily, stop embarrassing yourself. End the stream, go home and rethink your life," I said. Jack stepped forward, quiet and confident. He had orchestrated much of the plan behind the scenes. We presented Lily's plot to the authorities. The surveillance footage revealed her attempt to frame me. Her scheme backfired spectacularly. Karma had its way. Adrian approached afterward, looking broken. "It's okay." I waved him off. "No need to apologize. I wasn't hurt." "No, not for this," he said, locking eyes with me. "For what, then?" "For everything from the last life," he whispered. I froze as he continued, voice trembling. "For leaving you alone in that alley, for Lily crippling you, for your mother's death." His lip bled from biting it, his face pale and stricken. I was a monster. I was unforgivable. I am so sorry. A sudden realization hit me. Adrian had been reborn too. He regretted everything he had done before. He hoped this second chance could redeem his past. He hadn't expected me to treat him as a stranger. Seeing my silence, he gently took my arm. "Harper, you've come back too, haven't you?" "You hate me for what I did," he said, but I returned to make it right. He confessed he had bargained with a shadowy power, trading his reincarnation for a chance to correct his mistakes. He had finally seen Lily for who she really was, not just spoiled, but dangerous. Memories flashed. If the past hadn't been so cruel, he could have been the hero I once admired. Years ago, when I was a runaway, hungry and scared, he had found me, offered food and water.
"Who are you?"
"I'll repay you," I had asked. He had laughed. "No need. You remind me of my sister." I hadn't known then that Lily, too, had been a stray he rescued and spoiled. I had waited 10 years for his confession, believing I was special. But I had been nothing more than a pawn. He had shown me love, then the cruelty of betrayal. The nightmares returned, the stormy alley, the drunks, his callous abandonment. I waited. I fought. I survived. I whispered to myself. Jax admired my strength, but I realized something crucial. True security means you don't have to fight alone. I didn't need to act strong anymore. I smiled, a smile of freedom. I pushed Adrian's hand gently away. Professor Thorne, you're overthinking. Or maybe you're still dreaming. Rebirth? Sounds impossible. Thanks for the drama, but my boyfriend is waiting. I turned and left. Lily's plan to ruin me had spectacularly backfired. She became the outcast instead. Her fling with Kyle made her the target of every gossiping girl on campus. Rotten eggs followed her across the quad. Watching her karma unfold was deeply satisfying. I had assumed Adrian would give up after that night. I was wrong. After my last class, he cornered me in the hallway, eyes red, voice softer than I'd ever heard. Harper, I was confused in the past life, he admitted. I thought I loved Lily. It was just obligation. I loved you all along and I didn't see it. It sounded absurd. In the last life, we were enemies. He destroyed my family. How could love exist there? Stop joking, I said, brushing him off. By the way, I dropped your class. Don't forget my credits or I report you. I added, fully done with school and ready for my internship. Adrian had even tried to offer me a position at his company. I declined coldly. No interest, I said. Jax's family wealth promised me independence. I was about to start as intern boss lady at Cole Group. Adrian, I hope we never meet again, I said. Seeing your face brings me bad luck, I added, walking away. Adrian didn't speak. My words stopped him. Later, I heard news of Lily. Drunk and reckless, she caused a fatal crash. This time, Adrian did not shield her. He personally handed the evidence to the police. She was sentenced to life in prison. 3 days after Jax and I registered our marriage, Adrian resigned from his teaching position. He donated all his wealth to charity. Some say he withdrew from the world, seeking solace in a monastery. Others say he finally understood the weight of his sins and spends his life atoning.